had once and now I don't.
So it's official. My county in Pennsylvania has gone yellow phase. So that means that I get to go thrifting today. And I'm going to do my best to take you guys along with me and show you guys a little bit of footage. And you can see what this new dystopian thrifting experience is like on day one. Let's go do it. The way everything was set up on this day to follow the current guidelines made it so it was a little bit difficult to film, but I did get you guys some footage here. We were required to wear masks in the building. There was only allowed to be 15 people at a time. And we were also supposed to be trying to follow the social distancing guideline, trying to keep 6 feet away, one person to each end of an aisle, so on and so forth. But here I am in their electronics slash entertainment section. So this would be where they have a lot of VHS movies, any kind of like TV hookup things or speakers, their records, CDs. They have a lot of old Disney VHS here, and then books as well, and picture frames. So I went through, I found a couple of things here. Those sealed VHS unwritten tapes always tend to sell. They had these Winston Cup headphone radio vintage things, and then this computer joystick. I looked them both up while I was there. They weren't worth enough for me to grab them, and that's fine because I got plenty of stuff this day. Here we're moving on to the toy section. They have a lot of board games and old toys here. I took a good comb through. I didn't find a whole lot that I was too interested in buying. Got, all your quintessential children's toys, some beautiful ponies, etc. I came across this cool croquet set. It was all wood, it was in decent shape, and it was in a nice package, and they were asking $4.99. In hindsight, I probably should have took this home, or taken this home for myself, or for my own yard, but I didn't. And this was a doll with clothes and shoes and a backpack that I did end up taking home for my daughter. And we have bag toys, little Minnie Mouse, or Mickey Mouse, excuse me. Nothing too exciting here. I did find some fun board games that I ended up taking home. So you'll see that up here at the top they have a whole bunch of board games. A lot of them are like vintage board games, so they're from the 90s. Your Russell guy. I don't know anything about these, but he was pretty modern. All your plush toys. Pull-alongs, drums, cars. I saw this Super Mario Brother logo. And this was made in China. I assumed it was a newer toy, so I left it there. Did take the banana wallet, faux show. And then this bucket full of athletic goods, which I know sell pretty well. And right after I went through this, a lady came and took like half of this stuff. Wasn't for me though, none of it ended up in my cart. So moving on down, they have like another sort of electronics section where they have remotes, light switch covers, staplers, stationery, birthday stuff. It's like a whole plethora of items. These light switch covers and socket covers that are like in the package, even if they're not, but if they're vintage or decorative or cool or different style, I could go on. They're not your standard like cream beige ones. They always sell for me, and they sell for like $12 or $13 a piece, and I picked them up for $1 or less. I'm sure they weren't very much. So I always grab those if they're unique. I also usually will grab organizers, like plastic organizers. These ones were Rogers Company, which I know is a vintage company. It's pretty popular. I did not end up taking those home though. They were just too bulky to ship to be worth shipping. I have had a lot of luck on these staplers, but even better luck on the staples themselves. So I picked up a couple staples. They weren't full boxes. I left them because of that. But if you find old like full boxes of the staples, the Ajax staples, Arrow staples, pick them up. These were some Walt Disney cards. I don't know what's on the back of them yet because I didn't open them. But I saw it looked like a full deck. A whole bunch of remotes. A lot of people like to resell those. This was like a graveyard of alarm clocks. So I picked up this cream like Lenox ceramic or porcelain, whatever it was. Here's the little alarm clock graveyard. I ended up leaving most of these. If I had had more time, I probably would have like checked into more things, but I had somebody watching my kids for me because I didn't want to take them into the store this day. Ink cartridges, all those like Smalls phone covers. I didn't take any of those either. These were some trump cards. I definitely took those with me. They had a cute flower design on them. Sometimes playing cards can be unique and worth some money. This lampshade I thought was really cool. Had beading and like 3D flowers and everything on it. So now we're in the housewares section. I had a hard time filming here because there's a lady who kept trying to be all up in my business and she was too close to me, so I was trying to get away from her, and a lot of the angles ended up being kind of messed up. But here I am going through some trays, metal serving trays or place mat trays, pretty standard stuff. I did take a couple of those home, and when I do the haul video, you'll see them. These were some silver. They had blue glass inside, salt and pepper shakers. I recently got a whole bunch of salt and pepper shakers, and I ended up doing really, really well with them. They were somewhat unique styles, but I sold all of them for over $20 a set, which was good. So I do suggest checking into the salt and pepper, the S&P market. These pewter cups, they didn't have any kind of markings. I thought this picture was really, really pretty yellow glass. I like things with like floral daisies and sunflowers on them. They're also on trend at the moment. So for $1.99, I scooped that up. This is a cute little set of mugs. I don't take mugs home unless they are worth shipping, like this one, which is made in Ireland, and I believe it says stoneware with a flower on it, and it's really pretty, and I took that one home for sure. This was a shelf. I thought it was one of those funky design Burwood, whatever they call Burwood things, but it's actually a shelf, and it kind of looks like pink woven wicker almost, so definitely took that home. You can see by this point my cart is super full, and I'm doing the whole strainer stack, I call it, where you try and fit every last dish in there. That was pretty. I assume there's a match to it somewhere. And then this was super nostalgic for me because this particular print hung up in my house my whole life. This love is patient, love is kind. I believe it's a biblical scripture thing. Anyway, here's this was a really heavy glass piece. I did not end up taking that home. And I looked at these glasses a couple of times. I think it was $4.99 for the set of them, so I would have paid $1 a piece. And I just thought maybe shipping would be too much for them to be worth me reselling. So I left them behind, even though if they were larger, I would have kept them for myself. But I don't like small drinking glasses, so I left them behind. These are some of the prettiest plates I've ever seen, and I've seen a lot of plates. I also left those behind. I do not like shipping dishware. I will, but I don't like to. So here I am again picking up this set of glasses. This was called Georgian eggshell china, and I personally think it's unattractive. I know there's a lot of people that like that aesthetic. I'm not one. I left them behind. These are, I think they're stencils or something for a Bernina, which is a sewing machine that's worth a ton of money. I don't know anything about those stencils, but I took them just because they said Bernina.
Oh, I always do here. I don't get to get here enough.
Somebody
I don't mind it. I'll do it.
Sticker on this pig, and I was super confused because there was another sticker on it too that made it look like it wasn't a Lennox item. So, plus the plug on it, I don't know. Anyway, I left that one behind as well. My son is born on St. Patrick's Day, so that probably would have been a cute thing to get him. Oh well, too late now. He has enough stuff. Don't need to bring that home. So a bunch of bells, little figurines. These aren't really my wheelhouse either. Some of them are kind of cute. I scooped up those Spider-Mans for my little buddy Jace, my friend's son. I didn't find any other shoes though in this children's and it's like a sandals shoe section, I guess you could call it. There was some chunky heeled ones, but they were pretty modern, and then there was these Harley Davidson like strap sandals that I ended up also leaving behind because one part of the strap was detached from the other part of the strap, which isn't a huge deal, but I ain't got time for that. I considered these Evan Picone heels because there was this black pair, and a little bit to the right you might have seen there was like a white pair, and I could have bundled them, but I have a hard time selling those older shoes because they're usually really narrow, and yeah, just people have a hard time fitting them, and then when they get them and they're too narrow, they end up wanting to return them, which nobody wants to do that. So, long story short, I didn't get those. I did get those woven flats. Quite a bit of shoes, and they were all pretty cute. These I almost bought for myself. I put them back because I have too many shoes, and I've lately been considering actually purging some of my shoes, so for me to add shoes to the collection right now would just not make any sense. So I'm going to wait on that. I did find some good men's shoes, some really good quality leather shoes with leather bottoms made well, and some New Balances for my kid's father, who's like your typical New Balance shoe wearer. And if he doesn't like them, then I'll just sell them because that's what I do. That was a brand new Pittsburgh Pirates grill, by the way. And this is a like a little vanity or shelf really that open and close. This color yellow, I almost never leave it behind. I love this color yellow so much. Very 70s. We have more figurines. This homemade teapot thing. Again, like if I had more time, I probably would have looked some of this stuff up. It might be worth buying. I've made a lot of really good scores at this particular thrift store. So if I had more time, I could probably make even more money. But I think I did pretty well this day with what I did end up buying. Which, like, at the end is $264 worth of stuff. So, yeah, I got plenty. Oh, and the most expensive item I got was $10. So that tells you how much, you know, that kind of gives you an idea. I wasn't too interested in any of this stuff. It was cool to look at. There's a lot of cool stuff in the little corner. I do love a Coco Pele. But I couldn't figure out what it was for. It wasn't like a trivet. I don't know. It was like you could hang it on the wall, but it had hooks on the feet. I intended also to look up this picture because it was signed, but I get distracted easily. So, spoon. I saw a shiny spoon, went for it, took it home. A cool like golden branch handle. I also took that cat tissue box cover show. Took that for, I think it was like 50 cents or $1. Definitely took the hanging baskets, set of 3 as well. Very boho, very in, very cute. So like a little planter or something on the wall. I peeped these pillows though. I'm kind of weird about dead skin cells, so I try not to touch them. I couldn't tell if they were actually like funky mid-century or if they were a modern knockoff. and I did not want to delve any further, so I ended up leaving them as well. This little Czechoslovakian tea set, I guess. Made of very thin porcelain. I looked up and they weren't worth me taking home and attempting to ship these, and then eventually making a post office claim because they're going to get broken. A lot of Avon bottles. I'm very picky about my Avon bottles. Some are worth buying, some are not, obviously. And then here you have a large milk glass collection, which I usually also leave the milk glass behind. I'm a sucker for brass and copper, so I will look at that and I will generally take it home. I thought this was amazing. They only wanted like $350 for it, $350. It was almost as tall as me. It was super cool. Here we're going on to the clothes, y'all. This was the clearance section of clothes, so all these clothes were 50 cents. I absolutely scooped up this like pajama tee of Mickey Mouse. I got 2 pairs of shoes as well from here. A little pair of Rikas and a pair of vintage Hush Puppies. So they tend to have, this is like a small town thrift store, so they don't really have any desire for these vintage clothes. So they always, or I should say often, end up on the clearance rack for 50 cents. So that's where I head first when it comes to the clothing here. I usually make some pretty good scores on some, vintage items as well as some like modern basics and stuff. This is the thrift store where I found a Mary McFadden dress that was a 60s dress that ended up being worth a bunch of money. I sold it for less than I could have, but I paid $3 for it, so in my opinion, I did just fine on that. So yeah, there was a lot of really good finds on this rack. I got a whole cart full. This hat was amazing. Run with the big dogs, it says on the back, and if you're a 90s kid like me, you know exactly what that means. And I also found this cool vintage Pepsi hat, which I believe I bought that one as well. I think it was $2.50 for the hats each. I moved my way through a lot of the clothing. I ended up buying mostly just like dresses here at the end. Found some C by New York and Lily Pulitzer, etc., etc. But here's my haul, guys. It was ridiculous. Filled my entire trunk of my car and was $260. If you like the content, feel free to subscribe and expect a lot more. And if you like the video, go ahead and hit that like button, you guys. Happy hunting. Until next time.